Hello, virtual students. I wanted to take a quick second here and try to introduce myself a little bit and give you a chance to introduce yourself as you try to navigate your way through this virtual class. Hopefully, some of the stuff I say is going to help you be successful and give you a little bit of a face behind the computer screen as I introduce myself a little bit. Um, and hopefully you can find some interest in economics. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things, just some simple, economic rules in the United States and what other countries can do, along with supply and demand. We're going to talk about how businesses compete and what that means for how much money you might make. And then we'll get into some things about how the government tries to fix the economy and how we study it with some statistics and things like that. And so there's a whole lot of stuff that we cover. I think it's super interesting. Hopefully this is set up in a way that you are able to, be able to navigate and do the things that you do need to do with some clarity. But by all means, never hesitate to try to, get a hold of me and if you are figure out what to do if you are stuck. So I just wanted to take a second, give you a chance to fill out some information about yourself. I like to get to know you guys a little bit. One of the things we'll be missing is a day-to-day interaction, obviously. So, just to give me a little bit about yourself, go ahead and answer these questions real quick, and I'll be able to reference those when needed. If I'm just kind of curious as to, what your thought process is about some things. Thank you for doing that. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, I think it's important to kind of take give you a face to the guy behind the screen. And I think that if you have a little bit of a closer relationship with somebody, you're more likely to turn in good work and understand why we're doing things. So I'm going to introduce myself about just the stuff that you get. So first of all, my name's CJ Schaefer. I was actually born in Houston, Texas on October 1st, 1984. You can do the math on my age if you wish, but I don't necessarily think that changes much. When I was very, very young, less than a year old, we moved up into this area, and I actually graduated from Concord High School back in 2003. So anyway, I know a lot about the area, the good and the bad, and I'm familiar with it. So you and I already have something in common. Oh, something I'm proud of is I have a family. My wife actually also teaches at Concord High School. We've got three boys. This is Charlie. He's the oldest. He's a third grader. This is Vinny. He's the middle. He's a second grader. And then we have Ollie. He actually just turned one. But I didn't really have too many pictures with all three of them in it. So that's a little bit about them. Someone I look up to is a tough question for me because, as you probably know, anyone that you kind of choose, you're going to find out some things that are not necessarily as flattering about them. So I like to think about or learn about things about when people were extraordinary leaders. And so, just kind of one of the cliches is, the George Washington and how he kind of operated throughout the course of the Revolutionary War. I could even throw like John Kennedy in there with his response to the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I also like to think about things that are, or learn about things that aren't quite as high leverage. I coach football and track here at the high school as well. Learning from other coaches and how they adjust to, the changing dynamics of uh, the education world and how to motivate young people and do those types of things too. So again, situations more than individuals to answer that question. So my favorite movie of all time is Ghostbusters. It's just kind of one of those movies from my childhood I really like. My favorite book that I've read was a book called Unbroken, and it was about a guy. He got shot down in the Pacific Ocean by the Japanese. He floats around the Pacific Ocean in a raft for about 40 days, gets captured by the Japanese, and spends 2 or 3 years in a prison camp. It's a remarkable story. And it was one of the more entertaining stories I've ever read, and one of the more well, there was a lot of good things in it too. So there's a movie about it. You could look that up. It's probably about 10 years old now, but anyway, the book was really good. And if I had to pick a favorite TV show, I have to choose The Office. Um, that's just a show that I have enjoyed for a pretty extended period of time. If I had to pick a music, I chose Led Zeppelin. I try to listen to a little bit of everything, and but if I had to pick one artist, I'll pick Led Zeppelin. Not to say that I only listen to classic rock, but if I had to pick one artist, that's who I would have to choose. And then, last but not least, my plans after high school. I kind of planned on being a teacher through high school. Um, got done with college. Um, Not necessarily in 4 years, but got done with college and was able to pursue what I wanted to do, and so here I am. So got a little bit lucky in picking something as a young person and being able to stick with it and enjoy it, and so here I am. I look forward to getting the work that you guys are going to turn in. Make sure you follow directions. You do all those things, and we'll get you through this and earn your credit and do all those types of things. And so, anyway, I look forward to running this experiment with you guys. It's kind of the first time I've done it. It's probably going to be the first time that you are doing it as well. And email me with questions. All right. Thanks, guys.